Hello, everyone. My name is Coach Lauren, joining you for a second time on Sundays at Summit Health. Thank you so much for tuning in. What we're going to be covering today is three supplements that might be worth your money. As coaches, we get asked a lot what supplements clients should be taking. I apologize. What supplements you should be taking. And the true answer is that it really depends on the individual. A 23-year-old competitive athlete who would probably, be competing on a regular basis is going to be taking completely different supplements than maybe his dad, who's in his 50s and trying to get off their diabetes medication and has never stepped foot in a gym. Those two people probably not taking the same supplements. So the route that I decided to go was choosing three supplements that almost everyone can benefit from having around their house, no matter what your nutrition or fitness level is. My other disclaimer is that everything that is in these supplements that I'm recommending can also be found in real food. And that is the recommended way to get these supplements. If you have the opportunity and the time in your day to get these through food, go that route. So you might be asking yourself, well, if I can get them through real food, why are you recommending them as your top three supplements? And the reality is that many folks find it hard to get all of these nutrients, these really important nutrients, in their day from their diet. So sometimes a nutritional supplement can be helpful in filling those gaps. Another thing is, I know many of you are busy, or even if you travel a lot, it can be really easy to throw in the towel and say, well, I'm in the airport all day, so there's no way for me to get my fruits and veggies or to get my protein. And I'm here to show you that that's not true. You can get them through a supplement when life gets crazy. So, the first one I'm going to recommend is a green food supplement. The recommended amount of vegetable intake is at least 3 to 5 servings a day. And for most of you who are doing the challenge, you are easily going to hit that. However, there's a reason that it's part of the challenge, and that's because most of us aren't getting that much. If you love going to Hy-Vee 3 days a week to pick up fresh produce, then this doesn't sound bad at all. You probably don't need a green food supplement. However, less than 10%, probably closer to 5% of people meet these minimums. So, if you're new to eating veggies or you don't like them very much or you travel a lot and you're busy enough where prepping veggies is just not an option for you, one, I'd say look into frozen vegetables. But two, having a green supplement on hand can help tremendously. The reason that I'm recommending this is because the nutrients that we get from fruit and veggies are so important. Studies have shown that they can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, even asthma, various cancers, high cholesterol. I could go on and on about the benefits of eating your fruits and veggies. But if you can't get them all from real food, having a green supplement on hand, not a bad idea. My recommendations: use these supplements in addition to real food. So even if you're taking a green food supplement, do the best you can to still be incorporating fruits and veggies as much as possible. If you have access to real food, choose that and use this on top of it. Second, find a reputable product. The one that I'm going to recommend is called Greens Plus by Genuine Health. It's the best, most research proven greens product on the market right now. Super clean. Um, and with any green product that you're picking out, make sure you pick it up and look at the ingredients list and be looking to make sure that there aren't any additives. And last recommendation with this, try to find one with a taste that you enjoy. Um, Not always the easiest thing to do with a green supplement. If you can't find one where you love the taste and you love the ingredients, find some fruit around your house, throw it in a smoothie, and you won't even taste it. So, a green supplement, that's number one. Number two, a fish oil supplement. So, there's been a bit of controversy about fish oil recently, and if you have any concerns, please feel free to throw those in the comments and I will get to them, or ask one of your coaches. But basically, the reason that we want you taking fish oil in some capacity, again, it can be eaten through food, but not always the easiest. There are three omega 3s that we want to have in our body every day. Those are healthy fats. And two of those three are only found in fish oils. And most North Americans have about a third of their recommended daily intake. And the only reason they have that third is because our body can make small amounts of them on its own, but it's not enough to really have the benefits of them. So with the controversy that's been going on around it, like I said, any questions you have, put them in the comments and I will answer them. But you can find omega 3s in food. The only way to get those two that only come from fish oil, though, without using a supplement, is to eat oily fish every day, which is not a reality for most of us. Fish can be expensive, especially, I'll get into this a little bit later, but making sure that it's a healthy fish to be eating. Not something most of us do every day. If you can, that's great. But a lot of us will need a supplement when it comes to getting those two out of those three omega 3s. The third one, though, can be found in a lot of other foods that you take regularly, which can be flaxseed, chia seeds, walnuts. Again, things that can go into a shake pretty easily or be added to any of the food you're eating. And the more of those you eat, the more your body can produce those other two omega 3s on its own. So don't be worried if you decide not to take a fish oil supplement or you're not eating oily fish every day. Your body is still getting trace amounts of those omega 3s. It just does better when we are taking some sort of supplement. So, some recommendations when it comes to getting your fish oil. If you are getting it from actual fish, make sure that that fish has a healthy balance of fats. And what I mean by that is that try and make sure your fish is wild caught if you can. Farm raised fish eat a lot of non marine food, which significantly decreases their omega 3 content, which makes sense. If they're not eating fish, then they're not going to have as much fish oil either. So their omega 3s go down, and their omega 6s, which are notoriously known as the bad fats, they're okay in moderation. It's all about balance. But if your primary source of omega 3s is eating oily fish, just make sure that it's a wild caught fish and not a farm raised fish. If you do decide to go the route of supplements, there are a few that I would recommend. I'm going to list 4 here, but I'll make sure I say why. So the first is in liquid form. It's called O3 Mega by Genuine Health. And the reason I recommend this one is because it's just pure essential fatty acids. There's nothing else added to it. The second one is in capsule form. It's called Super Omega 3 Fish Oil by DotFit. And the reason I recommend this one is because it has a really high concentration of those two omega 3s that you only get from fish oil. So if you are, a little bit inconsistent with how often you take it, this one has a high concentration. So if you miss a day, it's not as big of a deal. The next two I am recommending because they taste a little bit better. So if taste is something that is important to you, Omega Superb by Thorne Research is in liquid form, still very pure, but it comes in a raspberry lemonade flavor, so it just goes down a little bit easier. And then Super EPA, which is in a capsule form, and it's, again, free of heavy metals and toxins. There's nothing crazy in there, but they add a little bit of peppermint for taste, which is nice. Some other things to think about when buying a fish oil supplement. One, check the expiration date, and two, buy it in smaller bottles, which is my long way of saying make sure that it's fresh. The reason for this is that just like your car, it can go through oxidation, which basically means when it hits oxygen, it has a chemical reaction on your car. This shows up like rust. The same way we don't want rust on our car, we don't want our fish oil to oxidize because that can actually do harm to your body. So, the longer you have it, the more exposure it gets to oxygen, the more likely it is that that will occur. Some ways to avoid that: um, one, check their expiration date, keep it in smaller bottles, and buy it more often. Two, keep your fish oil in the fridge and use it within 40 days, or you can keep it in the freezer and don't use it for any longer than 120 days. So, any longer than 40 days in the fridge, 120 days in the freezer, and your chances of oxidation are going to go up a little bit. If you're worried about it, buy a new bottle. That's just the safest way to go. And our third supplement, the one you guys were probably all expecting to hear, protein supplement. So, most people who aren't tracking or really intentional with their daily protein intake probably aren't getting quite enough of it. The first thing I want to say is if you're unsure of how much protein you should be eating, because there are all kinds of recommendations out there, speak with one of our coaches and we're more than happy to help you out with that. Secondly, when it's possible, again, get your protein from food. That is the best way, just like any of these things, is to always get your nutrients from food when you can. So if you have the ability to eat your protein and not use a supplement, do that. Not only will you feel fuller than taking it in supplement form, your body actually absorbs and uses it better when it's in food form versus a supplement. Our bodies don't absorb protein nearly as well in liquid form, especially whey protein. And I'm not bashing whey protein, I'm just saying make sure you consider all of your options, including getting it from real food first. But like we said, that's not always a reality. Sometimes you need more protein than you're willing to eat in a day. Sometimes you're too busy to grill some chicken, or you're flying and need a shake or something like that. Protein supplements are a great way to help make sure that you're at least getting enough to help your muscles recover. There are a lot of different types of protein supplements as well. So honestly, give them all a try and see what works best for you. Some people, might feel a little bloated or have some sort of reaction to different types of protein. Figure out what's going to work best for your lifestyle and what feels good in your body and go with that one. So there are 4 main types of proteins that we see a lot in our field, but there are plenty more than what I'm about to list here, but I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown of the different kinds that we see a little bit more often. So the first one is whey. That's what most of you see in the grocery store. And this is a fast digesting protein that's really high in BCAAs, which makes it a great post-workout shake. Again, I could do a whole video on BCAAs alone because you can also get them from food. But this is a nice fast digesting protein. If you're not going to have time to eat a full meal after your workout, this is really, really helpful. Next type of protein is casein. And it's known as a slow digesting protein, so it's really good before bedtime. The only thing I want to point out here is to go with the micellar protein. When it comes to casein, there is one other kind that kind of negates the slow acting, slow digesting part of casein, which is the whole purpose of using it. So look for micellar casein protein, and this would be, again, a slow digesting one, so a good one to take before bedtime. Collagen is another type of protein. I know plenty of people who use this. Collagen is really nice because it's just so good in so many other capacities. Yes, it's a good protein supplement, but it also helps with your skin, your joint and bone health, your gut health. It has a lot of other benefits. And lastly is plant-based protein. So whether you're a vegetarian or not, it's just nice sometimes to go with something that's a little bit more natural and closer to a whole food. So, as far as actual brand recommendations, whey protein isolate from Thorne Research, which I mentioned them a couple times before. Uh, it's a whey protein that's sourced from cows that haven't been treated with hormones. It's cold filtered to reduce the risk of um, damage to the proteins, I guess. And it doesn't contain any artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners, which is really nice. And it comes in both a chocolate and vanilla flavor. Um, I don't know if this is pronounced Vegalite or Vegalite. Either way, Vegalite by Thorne Research is a plant based protein. Again, tastes great, but this one's dairy free and it's a vegan protein and it uses a blend of rice and pea proteins as its source. Um, it's a protein powder that is the way that the amino acids are assembled and combined, it very closely resembles whey, but it's vegan. Um, as far as casein or other types of protein, I would say talk to your coach at your gym. They're probably going to know the best and cleanest supplements. They might even sell them at their gym. I know Hold Fast in Owatonna or even my gym, CrossFit Cherry Creek here in Denver. They sell Ascent Protein, which is an awesome brand and has a ton of different options for types of protein, and they taste great. So Ascent Protein, or when it comes to like a collagen protein or a casein protein, ask your coach for what might be the best option for you. Wrapping up here, I just want to stress one more time that when you can, get your nutrients from food. That's always going to be the best way to go. Your body's going to absorb the most from doing it that way. But if you find yourself struggling to hit your protein goal or not able to get enough fruits and veggies in a day because you're always on the go or you just don't like them for whatever reason, if you're struggling to hit those numbers, look into how a clean supplement might be able to help. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.